Alright, let's see if anything breaks. I turned off the multicasting for Twitch because all it does is give me access to 2K, but then asks me to stream like 3 or 4 times for brackets, and I'm not sure if it was worth it or not, so we're gonna test this first. I did a few things on the stream, changing a few things around. We're gonna see how this runs today, and then if I want to try multicasting later, I can fuck with that later. But I probably need to get a better idea of what that's gonna entail before I get too crazy with it. Let me go ahead and do a few things on this side. Don't need to see you. All right, perfect. Sorry, live chat's currently unavailable. What do you mean currently unavailable? Hold on. How dare you? What do you mean live chat's unavailable? Are people gonna have to go to fucking Twitch to chat? Are you kidding me, YouTube? What the hell? Is it because I had it unlisted first, perhaps? Well, let me try toggling this. Alright, there we go. Alright, we're good, we're good. I had to toggle it. We're good, everyone. Chat's back. I fixed it. And let me open up this real quick. Don't worry, we're figuring things out today. Bear with me. We're doing little things here and there. Hey, Boo Boo. Hey, Michael. YouTube chat should be back on now. I'm getting the overlay on now. Hopefully it will load in. Everything's broken. Alright, that should connect. Let me make sure that the counts are in. The counts are in. Alright, overlay should work soon. Knock on wood. Alright, everything's okay. Everything's fine. You know what? Everything's fine. We're just gonna go say hi to dog. We're gonna get back to Night Shift Elephant Mausoleum and no one can see a goddamn thing.
It's always the same up here.
Hold on, let me go over to here. Alright, there it goes. Alright. Chat's working. Everything is perfectly fine. I don't think so. I've had like weird UI bugs before, right? Where you had to like close. I've had bugs with containers where like you have to like actually do a key press to close them, like the R button, right? Well, let me see. Let's go find a container. I can show you what I mean. Typically speaking, the E key closes you out of. It opens and closes you out of UI containers. Sometimes I've noticed that the E key can get broken. Community stream was last Friday. We do it bi-weekly, Maker. So every 2 weeks. And then next week, we won't be. Next Friday, I probably won't be streaming because I'll be moving. Like next Friday, I move the Tuesday after that, so it's like the weekend's just full prep mode, including Friday. Hey, Duffs. So we probably won't see a community stream for like probably like mid-July, because I'll be off like the first week of July because I'm moving. I probably won't be back till the second week and get my bearings back. Thanks. Moving's always fucking miserable, but necessary.
Looks like we're all.
Give me your head. Oh, hey, dog. Why do you leave civilians alone? Why? Like, there's plenty of little flesh sacks to go eat down there. Go eat the civilians. What a dog doing? No, stop. I see your bars. Go down, not up.
We gotta run, guys.
No, no. If only I had the stealth backpack. No. I hear you. I don't accept. Let me up. Just casually breaking your fucking ankles as Scav Girl don't skip the dog. Yeah. Perfectly fine. We're probably a little hurt. The camera is shaking. We're definitely a little hurt. But we're safe.
Not a bad deal. Time to drag it back.
This is, yeah, one of the DLC skins, yeah, from, I believe the April patch is when it came out. I enjoy the amount of war gear she's actually wearing. Granted, none of it's usable, but it still looks cool. Nice and peaceful. Yeah, they just spawn randomly on the floor now. I don't think that's gonna be the case forever, but like, yeah, they just... That's kind of the current setup, right? I think you can force to spawn with certain quests. I think the quest that takes you from Scrapyard over to Scorch gives you a gacha, but yeah, they're just on the ground. They're like an exploration reward, but like, the exploration is RNG. There, there. I am dumb. There we go. I know it's like never gonna be possible, but it would be so fucking cool for like this like pouch down here to be dynamic. Like it would show your active medkit. It'd be so nice. Like seeing the grenade you have equipped and seeing the medkit you have on your off your waist would be huge for no HUD runs. It's like right now I kind of have to guess what consumable I have on or what grenade I have equipped. So like that hip area right now with the 2 grenades and the med pack, huge. I mean, it's inconvenient. It's inconvenient when you don't control what's in your inventory. Once you can control what's in your inventory, right, and like you have a loadout, it's much easier, right? Because you know, like, as long as you're looting all, you're not gonna have issues with like pulling the wrong consumable, right? So if I only, for example, bring one type of medkit, I always know hitting 4 will give me that perfect medkit, right? Yeah, I think it's worth the trade-off, right? Just because I do enjoy the UI just isn't there. It's not bad, just it's not good enough either. It's just a little bit too in the way. I mean, that's a fun part too, I will say, is like when you're starting to scramble for meds. Like, I'll bring like 12 of these, right, and I'll know for like that no matter what, I'll be using a decent to good med kit. Let's go SPD. Is this the right one though? This is not the right one. Let's actually get an SVD that I actually want to use. There we go. The uncursed scope. That's not an RPK. There we go. So 7.62 and 54R. No, we can do a trench. The classic trio. I don't like the trim on the SVD. Rather, I like the bespoke guns for guns a lot more than the generic ones. The bespoke scopes for the NTW, the SVD, and the 36M are all very nice. Like they're pretty generic. Like they're not actually like PSO scopes by any means, but like they feel a lot better than generic ones. I can't help but feel like Mech Trench Night Shift's been weighted very heavily this patch. Like night shifts seem more common, but I've been getting a lot of night shifts mech trenches recently. Could just be random luck, but it feels more than that. Like, don't get me wrong, this is not a PSO scope, but like, it is way better looking-wise than most other ones.
Whittle them down and we can break out.
You want to fully search it? You know how long that will take? It's gonna be like 10 seconds, Pikachu. How dare you? But we can do that. We can find one. Alright, so yeah, here's your crate. So I can't hit E right now, for example, to close it, right? But I can R to close it and not loot it. I can use W or S to get away from it. Actually, any of the movement keys, A, D, or W or S, right? Any of the movement keys get you off of this. Hey guys. Fucking conga line of crawlers. Yeah, if you're trying to do the glitch, the secret is just opening it and then opening it again. I'll show you. And those fucking crawlers. Let me up. Let me up the bodies. There we go. You know, I mean, they're having a fun time. They don't need my help, right? But no, yeah. I think it's actually you. Hold on, if I recall correctly, it's. I think it's you rather. I think better off are like do or other. How's it again? I can't remember. It's like it's a double tap, right? Is that what it is? I don't know. I can do it like occasionally. I don't usually care about glitching all that much. It's not because I can't do it, okay? Hey guys. That was underwhelming. Now. E real quick twice. I didn't do it. It's inconsistent. But Reggie's got it right, though. It's something along that terms, right? And you guys are really upset. Why are there so many of you? Okay, so you need to do personal search first. Understood.
Whittle them down and we can break out.
So hold on to me. Yep. Okay, are we safe? We're safe. I can't leave the container. Will you guys chill the hell out, please? I don't have HAs on me. Like, they're just really upset. Understood. Oh my god, they're climbing. Silly cyborgs. Alright, let's finish off these guys. Alright, did I win? I won. So it's open. Wait for the first one to inspect. Huh. Or do you need to like double tap it? No, it's still not doing it for me. Double tap, wait until, oh, so you, okay, so you double tap and then you double tap while you're looting it the first time and then you inspect it, then you come back in. God, that's, what is this convolution? We'll figure it out eventually.
Everyone for themselves.
I'll find my way. It's still crazy to me that they take two 54R bullets to the head. No. I do not have a lot of 545 left, or 762 left. Yeah, I can do it inconsistently. I can't do it consistently. I don't know what's up. No biggie deal. Yeah, more melee options would be nice. I mean, like, melee is such a weird thing, right? Because it's what, like, VK, like, melee for me, right, would be, like, the thing that would, like, I would always include last, right? Like, not that important.
I think they spotted us. Hit for us.
Like, on the grand scheme of things, just, like, melee seems, like, melee is really cool, don't get me wrong, but, like, melee also just seems so... Oh. Oh, I opened the container too. I just couldn't figure it out, Dwarf. Like, I can do it occasionally, just not consistently. It's not a big deal, though. I'm sure there's probably guides on it too if you want to go look it up for people who actually want to do the glitch. I mean, melee would be nice, I will say, just because, like, I do like the tankiness of cyborgs. It's just that, like, the only really tool to deal with them now is either shotguns or the... Or rather, so, like... I mean, on this map, I guess it's fine, right? This map has the qualities of... Like, you don't have to worry about specials all that much. Like, it'd be one thing if you had, like, grabbers that can murder you inside, or mothers that can murder you inside, right? But because it's only ever gonna be cyborgs, you can kind of run and gun this map with a night shift. It's not as damning.
Everyone for themselves.
The amount of animation work that would require would be staggering. And also get a punch a fucking cyborg. Nice scape shift. Interesting, but nice. Slow down. Alright, there we go. On fire. I keep getting this feeling that my silenced guns aren't silenced anymore. I'm curious. Is there some, like, basic perception now to silencers? Ooh, hello. So I guess the trick is you, like... I'm not able to trigger the cancel, right? I know what you're talking about, Dwarf, but I can't trigger the cancel appropriately. Like, I can't... Hold on. Is it... Okay, you need to be moving to cancel it. That's the secret. Fucking scramblers. So, like, the problem I'm having is that apparently you need some momentum to be able to cancel it.
I think they spotted us.
It's time for me to leave. Yeah, I know, you're hitting me. Oh, I'm out of fucking bullets. Climb! Climb! Just keep running, just keep running. I do have a jump for this, actually. That could really save me here.
As long as I'm the last one standing.
No, I did that, Dwarf. I didn't let me do it. If I was standing still when I did it, Dwarf, it wasn't working. Like, I let go of the key, don't get me wrong, 100%. Like, I just didn't stop it at all. The only time where it automatically canceled me when I let go of it was when I had momentum, when I was already moving. But like, when I walked up to a container and was stationary and hit an E on it, it wouldn't let me cancel out of it. Do I have an FPS cap? No.
Everyone for themselves.
I don't think so. Wait, why is this on? What the hell? Wait, why am I on Ultra? What the hell? Why are these settings the way that they are? Oh. I'm kind of curious. This is gonna destroy my machine. I'm kind of curious. Did me moving the save files out move the ini file? I wonder where they store the settings. If the settings are stored in the save file, I wonder if me like a week ago, I removed the save file from my game to, for my alt account, because I was trying to get a new account setting going on. And yeah, okay, that's what it is then. Okay, that's good to know. Okay. Thanks, Mira, appreciate it. That makes so much more, that makes so much fucking sense. Because I usually stream on all high. I'll do recordings in ultra, but I never had a frame limit on. Huh. I wonder if that was the issue. Frame limit of fucking 30. Is it fixed now? Is everything fine? Alright. I was wondering why it was so hard to track enemies too. Cinematic 30 FPS. It's also why my thumbnails are bugged also, as you can probably tell. That was also a side effect of me messing with the save file. Because instead of like just doing the save files themselves, I did the whole folder. And yeah. The save folder stores your gun thumbnails. So, or not even your gun ones too, it stores all of your thumbnails. So like, for your rigs too. So for example, this is our upgraded rig, but it has the thumbnail of a default rig. But if we go to customize here, we can see it's the upgraded one. So just, word of warning, I broke a few things. No biggie. How you get computer running on this game? What, can you elaborate? Like, are you asking like what settings I have on, or like what my machine is, or why you can't run it, or, well, there's so many questions potentially there. Let's bring a shotgun. Good old shotgun for cyborgs. I mean, that's been the case forever though, right? Like, that's just the case when you have, like, you're prestiged out, but you're not prestiging. That's not the save file, that's just, like, the game not handling you not wanting to prestige. Oh, I need 50 cal bullets. I kind of want to run mech trench again, actually. We need to go kill a lot of your opens for 50 cal. I don't like being low on 50 cal. We could go become a trench warrior. Let's go be a trench warrior for a bit. Maybe. Yeah, it might be because my account is older, and that's like it's an like. Well, actually, this save file itself is from only what's it called? 20 like earlier this year, right? 2025. What it could be too is I'm pretty sure my save file here got restored by cloud saving. It got restored by Steam's cloud service, right? But it didn't get. The Steam service probably only restores your actual save files and not your thumbnails. My mind's telling me no, but my body... Don't turn around. Damn it. No, I'm sorry. Why are you on semi-auto? Why? Why is the default setting on semi-auto? All I'm gonna say is this. Is if a gun has an option for full auto, I feel it should be on that first. Yeah, I was hoping for the stealth kill to actually get me there. You know, I want revenge. We didn't finish our, God, I just pulled up. I just like go through all my meds too. We're still doing a trench raider run. I'm fixing this. How are you? Shotgun. I really don't want to use my Vepper. It's crazy these are so fucking cheap considering railgun. There we go. Wait, I went to the wrong vendor. It's supposed to be Grillo. Whoops. Here you go, Grillo. Is he ball bearings? He's not. Alcohol. IFF tags. There we go. Let's try this again. Take two. Should be, Michael. I haven't moved her yet. Oh yeah, 100% dwarf. Yeah, like Bunko's one saving grace is 20mm.
Don't lose track out here. It's easy to get lost.
Am I? Why is he not making any noise running? Oh, that's weird. When he has Painless out, Bagman, he's not making any noise when running around. Huh. Interesting. I'm guessing the plan is for it to have its own sound effect when, like, you're walking around with Painless, like, being really noisy. That's why it's not in there. Where's my corpse? Wait, why don't I have an extended magazine? God damn it, Gabe. I guess we're going 8 rounders.
Same as it is.
So yeah, now it's working. Now it like goes and actually does stuff. Before I couldn't like actually like let go of it. It wouldn't actually stop it on 30 FPS, I guess. I'm sorry. Hold on, reloading. It's taking me 15 years. My God. What are you? I need to go to the trench lines. I mean, it might have been the frame cap though, Michael, right? Like being uncapped frame-wise is different from the game artificially limiting your FPS. He's so slow. I still think for sure that like naturally the effect that we're seeing for the cyborg bombers, they're not real, it's an effect. But it would be so funny just to like occasionally just get randomly smacked by a cyborg falling. I mean, falling cow is, I feel like, so much more, like, less frequent, right? Yeah, game shift, you just, like, leave your car parked out in the middle of the street somewhere for a bit. You come back to a giant cyborg dent in your car. So yeah, no, this time it works for me. I don't know why it doesn't do it before. Like, I can like let go now and it stops looting. It didn't do that on F30 FPS. All right, let's go over to the actual trench lines. Michael, it depends. It is like, if you were looking for a more polished experience, yeah, definitely wait. It is early access. They are like pushing out patches, it seems like monthly at this point, so like they do throw a steady stream of content your way. Maybe Dwarf, like they do want to put it out on console. Like they do actually have controller support for that reason, and it's in their mind. But like if you really like the art style, you want to support the devs, and you just are okay with like jankier gameplay or just sort of like still like being thoroughly developed gameplay, then yeah. And naturally it's always the equation too of like how much is $30–40 to you, right? They are like pricing their game appropriately. They're not asking for like a AAA game price. Or even like a Firebreak price, so yeah. It needs fleshed out loops, in my opinion. Like that's one of the bigger aspects for me. I don't think it's important for everyone, but like the big aspect is I want to see like actual fleshed out mechanics and loops. No, no, go. Close the door, close the door, close the door. Why are you in here? EXO, why are you in there? You can't fit. That's not on me, that's on the EXO. Yeah, one of the examples of jank, for example, right? The EXO going places where it doesn't belong. The EXO is renowned for doing that. It does not give a fucking shit. And we're playing slow ass Bagman, so we cannot get away from fights. Nice. And like I will say this too, right? For an early access game, you really like if you enjoy the first hour or two, like you'll get a vibe for the game in the first hour or two. If you're okay with it, then you're going to get a decent amount of gameplay from it, right? Especially worthwhile for like an indie game. It will be underbaked and like janky and buggy, but like if you're in it for the atmospheric, it's already there for sure. Okay. Why didn't you buy the magazine? Wait, what? Yeah, what the hell? Let's go here. Huh? 25 shots, perfect. Yo, I'm out of meds, aren't I? Yeah. Yeah. Hey, Bunko. We'll find meds. We're going to Elephant Mausoleum anyway, right? There's plenty of meds there. We'll figure it out. Third time's the charm. What do you mean low rep? Michael, everyone loves me in this game. I don't have a single bar of bad reputation in the game.
I hate this city.
Just look how fast we are. Get wrecked, Baghdad. Well, that's what. No, everyone loves me. Michael, I am like literally just giving, like, yeah, I have so much stuff stockpiled up. I can just immediately sell a few things and everyone loves me again. Which means everyone loves me always. As long as you have money, this is the lesson the game is trying to portray. As long as you have money, everyone loves you.
Work our way through.
That's exactly the message that the devs are trying to send here. No, the droopy turret.
Don't get boxed in. Spread out.
I think I have a new, you know, the question I would ask devs has always been changing constantly, but I'm pretty sure I have my next question locked in. It's gonna be the turret, right? It's gotta be the turret at this point. It's been droopy for so fucking long. What do you mean? Rat King loves me. If Rat King doesn't love me, he's not worthy of my love. I'm confused why you would think that Rat King doesn't love me. I think they pushed it around the last patch. So it should have been like a month ago, Blood, I think, right? The last content update, or the last content update was like when they did the Q&A. What else did you capture, Michael? Hey, Smoke. Alright, now we're suddenly now fine on meds. See, beep beep. I can't acknowledge that request. I will say, I wonder if they removed the grabber from here. I haven't seen it in fucking forever. Maybe there's like a certain criteria now you need to have. But I haven't seen the grabber here in like at least 10 runs. All right, meds.
More to carry back.
And I'm doing this for the medicine because I want to actually find the medicine and use it if I can.
Work our way through.
You loot a few things and they get so upset. Alright, bye. You just do a little bit of pilfering and suddenly they want to murder you.
Don't get boxed in. Spread out.
The wiki is very out of date. Like most games, right, you'll always have a push early on of people wanting to support the game, and like the wiki will get made around that time period, and like they'll add new stuff to the wiki, but they won't go update old stuff, right? Don't get me wrong, like updating a wiki like on your own free time is, you know, perfectly, it's a nice thing to do, right? But no, it's gonna go out of date no matter what, really. Yeah, I'm not usually a big, like, the thing about farming in the game like this, right, is I just don't really see the point right now of like farming credits or IFFs, really. Like, if you enjoy it, go ahead, but it's not really something I'm interested in, really. Yeah, they said they want to wipe too, but like, I can kind of see scenarios where they don't wipe. They push out like a content patch that kind of like reworks the early game, and then people get upset. Of like, this content's not for me. Well, sorry, like, you know, we're worried about making a whole experience, not just experience that curtails the people who farm for 300 hours in early access. I want my revenge. I forgot, you can't ADS this thing.
It's too heavy. Keep low.
If you ADS this thing, the bullet goes like really low really quickly. But I need help aiming though. There we go. Good? You're good. If you're unfamiliar though, hold on. So we're not going to ADS. We're aiming at the same spot, ADS. You can see the issue when you ADS now, right? Very different trajectory. Yeah. No, that's a pretty common quality of life complaint too, right? Like, so when you're reloading, you can't swap guns, which is a pretty big issue. I imagine they'll fix that though. When you ADS the grenade launcher with this thing? Are you using an optic, maybe? Do you have an optic on your M79? Or do you have this top part, right?
Way too hot here.
Try taking it off and see if you get the same thing as me. It could be the fact that it doesn't have a, it doesn't do the correct state properly when it doesn't have an optic on it. There's a few guns like that, right? The AK does too. It is a quest reward. I believe you get it from your Europa. It's one of the quest rewards. It's modified without the optic, I believe. Because I don't think you have this little top part on it without the optic. Chris, I believe it's only high-level enemies, so probably... Someone else can probably say it better than I do, but maybe HKs, like, especially against like Mother Courages, perhaps, like maybe Brawlers. I'm not sure the exact criteria. If someone knows, put it in chat, but it's high-level enemies, right? I wouldn't be surprised if it's like, you know, unkillables. Okay, so EODs do drop the level 3s. That's good to know. Hello, bag. I hear it. Let me close this door over here so we can't get flanked. All right, we're here for 50 cal. Let's get some 50 cal. Not to my knowledge, Jamez. You will, the one thing that will affect, though, is your guns do kind of have like a threat rating. At least in a feeling-wise it does. Essentially, the better weapons you bring in, the more likely you are to trigger HKs and how quickly you are, right? So for example, if you bring the 36M in, the 20mm rifle, if you fire it once, you usually get HKs on you immediately. So like, yes and no. Like, it'll make you more likely to get HKs, which will make your life more difficult, but to my knowledge, it won't just affect the general pools on the map. Curse me for A-Big. The X are coming, or? Go away. God, I got that ADS fall away. There we go. 50-100X and then a 30-80. Let me in. Let me in. Oh my god, I just killed myself because of the bug. I need to add, if Michael is correct, I need to add an optic to this thing. It needs an optic. I just killed myself with the bug. Alright. Do I have any more? Yeah, I don't even have any more. I can go get it back. Michael, did you confirm though that the optics, that's what bugs it? That makes sense, right? It's the same thing. Like if we bring in the Doom, like let's bring in the Doom AK. Where are you, my little buddy? So if we take off the optic and just run a rail without an optic, it kind of, the game doesn't like that. The game does not like it one bit. There we go. So, elephant. Yeah, I just think it needs an optic, right? I think that's what's probably bugging it out, is that when you run it without an optic, you just get murdered by yourself. But no, if you wanna plug, I wonder if they fixed it. Let's see. No, yeah, I mean, it's actually better now. It used to be worse. It used to be like really low on the screen. This is actually serviceable. But no, like if you use painless, it's kind of like painless, where it'd be like in the bottom center of your screen. You're basically playing Doom Guy from like the old OG Dooms, right? This is serviceable though. Up we go. We're gonna go straight to the trench lines, get my M79 back, so I can put an optic on it and see how it runs. Maybe it was that too, perhaps? You might have to do also is like holding. There are a few weird things that can happen with reloads when you're like holding right click down. Like if you probably noticed it before, right? When you're reloading, sometimes your camo will freak the fuck out and like shift around. It could have been that too for sure. Like. I replicate it. That seems mostly fixed. AMD graphics card or AMD CPU? I've been getting more crashes this patch too, by the way. It's still pretty rare for me, but like, it does happen. Wait, really? Huh. Yeah, I've been crashing more recently this patch too. Like, I still don't get them very often, but like, it's way more than I ever have been this patch. Skedaddle. No, Mr. EXO. You don't belong in here. Huh, interesting. It's when you start sprinting. I mean, they should be getting, if you're sending the reports to them, right, they should be getting crash reports, I imagine. Probably like one of the things they do notice. Oh, mech of the trenches. Give me your wisdom. I should probably not kill myself, honestly. Let's not kill myself today. We've already done it like 2 or 3 times. Yeah, have you ever seen Rat King go in a trench line? I think not. All right, I should have my N79 back from recovering my body. Yeah, there we go. So, you know, yeah, everything's A actually. When it comes, everything is default A. So it's the default things, and like, let's put an optic on it and see if that does it. Let's put a spook on it, I guess. Bring a few grenades in. It wasn't a preset though, Michael. That was just, this is just default. This isn't a preset at all. Like this is like literally the stock M79 right here. This is the preset I just created. No, not the spook. Aim point enthusiast. We'll try out a few. It's less about that, Mike or Eric. It's more just about seeing if it bugs out again. It's really just seeing if, like, I can actually shoot it and not just have it just eat the floor. Essentially, the only thing I'm looking forward to see is that the trajectory of ADSing is now the same as third person.
Just gotta get through one more day.
What the hell, Gabe? I guess I didn't want the spook. All right, let's just see. Let's see. It's still broken anyway, though. So. No, it freaks the fuck out. You can see it right there, right? So we have long range, and then we have ADSing, which is like really short range. And those are two separate things entirely. Well, I mean, this is I'm using the default right now, right? This is the first experience you would have with the M79, right? Like, you're not gonna have on default unlock the extra stuff for the M79, right? It's gonna be all the A's. I mean, I'm playing Old Man right now, so this is Old Man.
Worst case scenario.
Toothy. Jacob. Let me go change characters then. Let me go over to Scav Girl and see what happens to Scav Girl too. Is it an old man issue? Is his is his ADSing with the M79 flaccid? I got nothing cooking. That'd be irresponsible to do while streaming. I mean, I could cook, but like, I would just end up burning it, to be honest.
We didn't die.
All right, let's go test out Scav Girl and not change any variables just yet. So characters, Scav Girl. It'd be interesting if only my account was borked, right? Let's just bring like 24, bring some 9mm, few meds, run it back. I mean, the Scar is a really strong gun too. It doesn't really cut like this. The shotgun's better, but the Scar, I will say, like the Scar is very strong. All right, so now we have Scav Girl. So we have long range. Yeah, maybe is it just old? Go try Old Man, Michael. Is it only Old Man? Does Old Man have a flaccid problem? That's such a weird issue to have for one specific character, that their projectile for the grenade launcher doesn't work properly. Hey, go try Old Man. I'm pretty sure I was playing Old Man for a while. I mean, you can try both. Dwarf, in the grand scheme of things, Dwarf 2, I do really appreciate, like, if you're gonna kill special units, I kind of feel like that's the way of doing it, right? As opposed to you being the hand killing them, it's more of like you kind of gently pushing things together to kill them. And then trying to loot the loser. Or that, for example, you know, like a classic Tarkov route. Two enemies fight, they kill them, they loot them, and then you come get the scraps. No! Okay, we're good.
We brought all this gun for you.
No, hold still! No, other way, other way, other way, other way. No! Ow! Serpentine! Serpentine! Man. Pistol's recoil kind of feels weird, to be honest. Hold on. Oh, that is real bad. Yeah, that's not great. I mean, none of the guns' recoils are really great, but that is real rough. Well, it's not even that there's no recoil, right? It's like the recoil is detached from the gun. It doesn't... The recoil and the guns just do not work together in a way that feels cohesive at all. It feels like you've copied and pasted two systems and glued them together, essentially. They don't feel like they're, like, ingrained properly. Alright, so we learned that the M79 is an old man issue. What about Gunhead, though? Probably not. Alright, let's go over to Mesa. I mean... a few different ways game shift. One of the big ones, right, is just... as opposed to having... you could do a primary and a pistol, and the secondary would like take up a rig slot, right? So say, for example, there's so many different ways of doing it. The first and easiest is just making pistols free. Like, just add pistols on as a third slot, and that's it, right? Like, you make pistols functional by just making them free to equip. The next thing you could do is adding kind of a layer on top of that is like, you could just only give players one primary and a pistol, and if they want a true secondary, they have to give something up, like a rig slot, right? So as opposed to like, say, like, for example, the gunrunner, right? the gun runner would give you a slot on the side of your gun, like your rig, for an extra gun. That would be the compromise, right? You want extra utility? You need to bring in a special rig for that, right? If you want more pew pew, you need less loot. So stuff like that, right? Hey, 47. I mean, yeah, like once if you make it that like you only have a primary and a secondary, you could make pistols more viable just overall. But no, like if you give the players a choice between a pistol and a primary, they're almost always going to use a primary outside of vibes, right? Yeah, yeah, and like, well, it also just opens up an avenue for balancing the rigs more, right, or adding more variety to rigs. Which might, like, there's not a lot of variety for rigs right now, right? There's a lot of rigs that are just strictly better, right? And adding that nuance of like, hey, you want extra primary? Well, here's the compromise. You don't sell 308, do you? That's what I thought. I don't need meds. I'm a robot. All right, memento. It means though, Box. It means two things, Box. First, that when you're pressed, like first, like this is also assuming, for example, when you run out of ammo, you can switch to your secondary without having to reload. Like that's a big quality of life issue for sure. It also means that you can buff pistols a bit, but also it means that, like, yeah, pistols you don't want to use actively, right? But it gives you a last-ditch effort. They're a sidearm, not a primary. Of course, a primary is going to feel, a secondary is, of course, a pistol is going to feel worse than another primary. Like, that's a given, right? But it's more of just, like, promoting choice and variety. Making you have to choose between different options. If you're, I mean, like, there's a reason why pistols are sidearms too, right? Like, there's never going to be a scenario where a pistol is going to be more useful than a primary. That's just how it is, right? If you want to, if your goal is to play John Wick, this is not the game to play John Wick. You're not gonna, or you're not gonna, what's it called, roleplay Tom Hank in Saving Private Ryan by shooting a tiger with a pistol, which summons an airdrop from a fucking Mustang. And like, you can kind of see it too, for example, with the cyborgs, right? You can kind of see the first iterations of them trying to pull back a bit on the power of players and making enemies kind of dangerous again and not just get mowed down endlessly. But with pistols, it's always been the case, right? So it could be as they start pulling back kind of the units, more guns are going to start feeling like that anyway. Yeah, like when you can, like when the same slot is occupied by both a grenade launcher and a pistol, yeah, like it's hard to compare the two. And like that kind of goes into the first thing too, right? You could just literally, like, the easiest solution could just be adding a pistol slot, so 2 primaries and a pistol. Personally, I prefer more of like having to make choices and sacrifices, like ups and downs. So I like the idea of like 1 primary, 1 pistol, just because it kind of forces you to be very respectful of what you want to do on your run, right? And if the people really want 2 firearms, they can do it, but it's at a cost. If you want the versatility of extra guns, you're going to pay for it in some way. And to be perfectly like, all things considered too, I think this is a game that could probably just do without pistols, to be quite frank. I'm not really sure if they're just worth the effort. Or rather, if you're gonna have pistols, just like, you add a few cool ones in, right? That are like very quirky, and you just don't make them a main group. Like, they're pistols, like, in, like, style, but they're not really considered pistols, just an alternate firearm. Like, they don't seem like they're worthy of, like, having 10 guns in a breakout. What is Left 4 Dead? I mean, I will say, actually, if they were ever to do QTEs, that would be a use case for pistols, perhaps? Or the pistol slot. Okay, bear with me here. What if... This is still the problem, right? What if, for example, there was... not a dedicated pistol slot, but like a handheld utility slot, right? That you could fill with a pistol or some tool, right? King, I enjoy quite a bit. I mean, the biggest questions to kind of ask yourself is, right, is like how much the sale, like I'm not sure what it's on for sale for, right? Is like 20, 30 bucks. I think 30 retail, right? But like if it's on sale for like 25, it depends on like how much is that worth to you, and are you okay with like early access jank, right? Or like early access lack of content. Don't get me wrong, you'll like if you enjoy the base game, if you play it for an hour or two and enjoy it, you'll probably get like 30, 40 hours of it before you realize there's not much to do. And if you're okay with that, if you like the art style, if you like kind of the grimdark atmosphere and you want to support the devs, that's perfectly fine and well, but just temper expectations for a complete game. It's in the tank. Being crafted. I like Nighttime Trench. I haven't seen it in a long time. I do like it. It's got a very cool vibe to it. But no, yeah, like... going back to the pistol conversation, right? The only way to balance pistols, right, is to make them free, like a free slot, or you kind of make them mandatory by taking up another slot, right? Like... yeah. I do think, like, on the grand scheme of things, though, too... The game does lack making you make choices, right? You're given a lot of versatility to fill like a lot of roles, right? With your two primaries. And like, think of it this way, like, this doesn't mean you don't, like, they could buff pistols to make them feel better, right? But like, or it could be like a pistol SMG slot too, right? It doesn't need to be just a pistol. It could be like a light firearm. It maybe changes per characters too, right? But like, when you can offset all of your weaknesses by just bringing the other primary, it kind of, it doesn't give you a choice, right? You're not making a conscious choice. You're just like saying, I'm gonna be a jack of all trades and be good at everything. Imagine if you were going mech hunting, right, with a grenade launcher, and you had to like, I'm gonna bring a grenade launcher, but because I'm doing this, oh no, like, I'm gonna have a pistol or a sidearm or like a very small lightweight SMG, right? So I have to be super conscious about the fights I take, other than the grenade launcher guys, or other than the mechs, right? Or vice versa. Say, for example, you bring a gun like a regular assault rifle against infantry, but then you're like, okay, I'm not very good versus cyborgs. I need to avoid cyborgs or be cautious against cyborgs. It creates like, yeah, by forcing players to choose what tool they bring to the fight, what tool they bring to the job, it means that they have to approach certain scenarios differently, as opposed to just gun everything down. Like, the part of being that guy, right, is that because you can cover all of your weaknesses. Squishy characters you can cover with medkits. And that's, for example, why people don't like Gunhead, for example, right? Is like Gunhead has a clear weakness. You cannot compensate for a small HP or a HP pool with medkits just by bringing more of them, right? And I know everyone's not going to feel this way, but like that's what I enjoy about games, right? And that's what kind of the game lacks right now too in a lot of aspects, right? Is like making conscious choices and having that impact your play style or how you play the game in some way, right? And part of that's it's not just guns, right? It's a lot of things, but guns and pistols is one way of viewing it too. It's, for example, why I like the Scar a lot, right? Like, the Scar is a perfect jack-of-all-trades guns, right? But it has a clear downside of not being silenced. Like, you can bring a Scar in and be pretty much good against everything, but you're not going to do it quietly. Yeah, like you can be the best at everything with just like 2 guns, right? And with no armor right now, and that could be a perk of Gunhead, right? Is Gunhead can have a better job of like covering his bases, right? With his Gunhead's Gunhead. Like that's a unique perk of Gunhead, right? Is he has a better job of covering his like weaknesses. I mean, don't get me wrong, it does vastly reduce the power level of players, but it also, in a way, like, makes you not less of that guy, but it also promotes co-op a bit more too, right? Like, you can actually have, like, it incentivizes co-op to a great degree. And don't get me wrong, I'm not a big co-op player, but, like, by having players have to have weak spots in their builds or how they play their characters, right? It provides avenues for, you know, working together. I mean, that kind of goes into the utility slot, you know, item, right, or idea, right? I don't know. I've kind of sold myself, to be honest, just on one primary plus secondary. I know it's probably not popular, but we're not popular to everyone. All right, time to leave. But I think just on an avenue of like making you feel not all powerful and making you make choices, it's probably important. King, I have probably like around 350 playing hours and probably like around 450 or like another 100 hours on top of that for like getting content or like recording. So like around 400, 450. And that's been me. Like I only play about, I've been keeping the kittens pretty much normal. So ever since the game came out, I've been doing 3 days a week. I mean, well, I like it a lot, but like King, I've also done a very good job of like pacing myself in regards to like playing the game. So for example, I've been keeping myself to about 10 hours a week ever since it came out. Like streams are about, I stream 3 times a week, sometimes not consistently though, like 3 to 4 hours. So like, I do a very good job of not burning myself out. Exactly, King, yeah. I didn't do any quests that run. Well, we were night shift. I think animations for medkits is not an if, but a when for sure. That definitely will help also. Yeah, King, you're the exact type of player that, like, I would... There used to be a mechanic in the game called the IRL water timer, and essentially, always, even when you were not playing the game, there's essentially a countdown of, like, you would lose water, and if that ever hit 0, you would have a soft death or a soft wipe. And, like, that, like, you're the type of player where I was like, that just needs to not be the case anymore. You can, if you're ever trying to balance a game, like a PvE game, if you're trying to ever provide a consistent experience to different types of players, it just can't be through an IRL timer. It's one thing if it's a competitive live service game, because that's investment, that's different. There's plenty of people who enjoy no-lifing Rust, but this is a PvE game, right? It's an entirely different ballpark. Oh, that's not an M4. Where's the M4 at? M16? No. Oh, for sure. I do think they've struck a nerve on a niche that's not very well serviced. So, like, it's ripe for them to take. They just need to exploit it. And I think the biggest thing is, too, is just, like, yeah, they need to have depth to their systems. Like, they have a good ability here, I think, to do, like, a self-contained, you're in the control of your own wipe sort of scenario. If they try to lean into the cyclical kind of game style, that's somewhat emergent. Like naturally with a small dev team, right? It's probably going to be hard to get full emergent gameplay out of a game like this. But I think they can get pretty close. I think they can do like a self-contained PvE extraction shooter where you're in control of your own wipes and your own progress, right? Maker, I thought it was binary in the like I haven't tried out testing recently, but it always felt binary to me, right, Maker? It's like either you have a silencer on or you don't. There's no nuance between them, but I haven't tried that in a while, so I don't know that for sure. I think they have talked about like different areas, right? Sky Cave in previous Q&As. Like if the game gets enough support, right, I'm sure more things are coming. It's really dependent upon that. Oh, for sure, King. Like it just right now, like once you kind of play the game enough, you can kind of see past the facade. There's not enough things happening in the back end, I feel like, right now to make it truly emergent or close to it. Or not enough things making it like cyclical, right? Where you feel like time is passing and the war is escalating, and like right now on maps, it's not, you can't really tell the difference between different maps, right? You'll see different spawns, but nothing really feels like it's changing over a period of time. So they're missing systems for stuff like that. Yeah, Sky Cave, that's always why I always like early access games, because there's that mystery of like wondering what's coming and what they can do. But with Tarkov, right, they've been out for so long at this point, you kind of know what they can do. They're not willing to stray far from what they currently have. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of why I think too, Eric, like the game needs a basic like armor system. And like, I will say, for example, you know, having one primary means bringing different types of ammunition could help offset your weaknesses, right? Like right now, like say for example, if you're running a shotgun, you could bring different loads to offset your weaknesses, but those loads might have downsides too, right? So it becomes a kind of almost like a planning thing too, right? Say for example, you're going on a raid, you think you're gonna encounter cyborgs and maybe a few EODs, so you're like, I need ammo that's good against, you know, chaff enemies like cyborgs, but also that can pierce the armor of EODs that have really good shotgun protection. So So like you get rewarded for like, you know, light planning. No, I think like, yeah, limitations on weapons and then using ammo types to like help alleviate that issue. I mean, I think Blood we are going to get squishier in time. I played Tarkov back in the day, King. I tried Gray Zone Warfare very briefly, but it was real, like, unplayable performance-wise at the time I played it. Other than that, though, I played a little bit of the Cycle. The Cycle just didn't do it for me. It was just too watered down. And the player is more tanky than enemies, right? Well, rather, we have an ability to output, like, I would say we're probably similar HP to some of the enemies. Especially with, like, mitigation, perhaps, or if they have any mitigation, but no, like... I don't know, we'll see. Like, they can... There's let's see how they improve the AI for enemies, and then, like, from there... maybe they can up the lethality. Like, it's one thing for enemies, like, in the current iteration, right, when enemies engage, they just turn to you and start murdering you. Lethality is one thing, but if enemies start interacting more organically with you, like, aggroing them, perhaps they can tune up, like, damage a bit. I don't know, we'll see. It's a fine balance sort of thing, right? And I think, too, right, if they ever do add animations from like medkits, it will make the game more lethal for sure too. Yeah, King, and that's like kind of I in a way want to be a voice of caution to the developers. The more Okay, bear with me here. Let's have a conversation. Do you guys think jamming should be in this game? I'm not gonna say my opinion. You might already know my opinion. I've already said it a few times earlier, but I'm curious without me saying anything yet. Weapon jamming, yeah, like say for example, like occasionally your weapons will jam. You don't have to like clear the malfunction. Add jamming, okay, Ridges add jamming. I want to hear more people in the chat. Please let me know your thoughts on jamming before I say my opinion. I need more polls. Reload, reload. That was a fucking beefy ass goddamn squad. Okay, I'm seeing it mix in chat right now. Very curious. All right, I'll say my opinion now. I do not think in a game like this, jamming should be a thing. It is, for the limited cinematic qualities it has, it adds so many feel bad, out of your agency moments to the game. And if you're not going to have like, I feel like it's going to have a very hard issue where if you're not going to make your guns essentially extensions of their IRL counterparts, like basically being a milsim, jamming just feels out of place. I essentially too, like, if you only make it on the worst of worst guns, like just are like the only times, like Tarkov has watered it down to such a degree now where like it's only when you consciously bring terrible guns can you ever expect to bring jams, right? So it's such a rare mechanic now I feel to actually encounter. And you'll like the few times you'll die to a jam in Tarkov, it's just like RNG how you lose. I ultimately do not think it's worth the development time and balancing, because it's only, you're gonna put it out, you're gonna get tons of critiques saying it feels bad, and you're going to have to water it down anyway to the point of irrelevancy after like the first 10 minutes in the game. I mean, it'd be like, in a way, if they added jamming right, you would have to assume they would add durability to their guns. And that's just... micromanaging durability of parts and guns, I feel, is getting into the tedium, in my opinion. People who want a PvE extraction shooter, I feel, don't want to get too bogged. They want just like the right level of fluff and atmosphere, but not the tedium, right? They want to feel the weights of their choices, but not the tedium that comes with like a live service game or an online game.
Good days are rare. Save
Yeah, but Duffs, I just... if there, I mean, at that point, Duffs, it's less about jamming itself, but that would be an overheat mechanic, right? Like you're describing jamming, but you're describing it being an overheat system, right? Where if you fire a gun too long, it overheats and jams. That's not directly a jamming mechanic, I would say. When I say jamming, I mean like in the sense of your gun has durability, and as guns lose durability, they're more likely to jam. Yeah, like, it's just one of the, like, the problem is this, right? I always have, right? It's gonna be one of those things I never think you can properly tune to the point where everyone likes it. There's never going to be a sweet spot for people where everyone's going to like jamming. And that doesn't naturally mean you shouldn't add it, but like... I don't know, I just do not think the effort's worth the squeeze, and I think it's going to be more of a detriment than a cool feature. Like, okay, bear with me here, right? Let's say you go on like, let's say there's like multi-raid levels on the map, right? Let's say you go from, or okay, let's keep this holistic too. Let's say, for example, they added water drain back to the game. So let's say, as opposed to water drain on maps, it's water drain on maps and when you die. So keep in mind, like, you lose water actively now when you die. It's a very simple system. As a punishment for dying, you lose water. Imagine if you do like a multi-raid setup where you spend like, say for example, to get to Scorched Enclave, you have to go through like a few middle maps. Let's say you have to go to Scrapyard, Mech Trenches, and Scorched Enclave. You go to Scorched Enclave, you take a fight, your gun jams, and you die. Like, does that just not feel arbitrarily punishing? And just, like, if you're gonna have punishings be meaningful for death, I feel like jamming is in a terrible way, right? Like, Tarkov is one thing, right? Tarkov, you expect to die consistently. And I'm not saying you shouldn't expect to die in this game, right? But if you're ever going to have punishments for death that could influence soft wipes, like the old water death, it feels like a mistake to leave a large aspect of that to just random RNG that can fuck the player. It creates, like, the gain I feel that it would provide cinematically is not worth the loss it would provide for the amount of feel bad, right? I can see it myself too, right? Like, I'm playing a raid, I get to some end game point or like a long part of a run, and then I just die to something outside of my control. Like, I just can't see. And you can say it's tuning, right? But there's always going to be that small chance, right? Unless you literally zero it out over a certain durability factor, which is what Tarkov had to do, right? Tarkov watered it down where I think it's like above 95% now or 90% now. You just can't jam, which isn't realistic, by the way. But because guns can just jam, you know, being proper. Some guns are just built awfully. And will just jam firing conventionally. But like, and at that point too, it's no longer a like milsim aspect. It's just an like a RNG punishment aspect. I would rather have dynamic events, or you get a bad round, like yeah, bad primer, exactly. Like, you know, you can have nothing wrong with your gun and you just get a bad round and your gun is on fire. Like that would be milsim realistic, right? Is sometimes you get a bad round. So like, if it's not gonna be like realistic purpose wise, it's supposed to be gamified regardless. I don't know. I just do not think it will ever be in a spot where it feels good. The amount of gain it provides for the amount of like loss it can cause, this doesn't seem worth it. And don't get me wrong, I'll still play the game if they added it in, but like, I just do not think it will mesh well with the audience. I mean, that's fair. Like, that would be a way of doing it, right? Is doing it by the ammo and not by the gun. And like then we get into the implementation like technicalities, right? Is like, so when a gun jams, right? Or is it a visual like item on the gun? Do you have to clear the malfunction? Does it normally does the character just unjam the gun themselves? Like, what level of interaction do you want with your jamming system? Is it just mainly there for cinematic purposes, so like a person can clear their gun? Or do you, like, is it more like a skill check? You need to, like, you know, clear your gun with a QTE? I would rather see more in-depth melee than, say, jamming. That's my take. I would rather the animation time and like the effort be spent on like melee. I mean, that's essentially what Tarkov has, is QTE jamming Ragey, right? It's not exactly a quick time event, but like when your gun jams, if you don't clear in a very quick time, you do just fucking die. So it's not literally a QTE, but it kind of is a QTE. Oh, Ragey, they added jamming in Tarkov. It was not well received. They basically watered it down to the point where it's mostly irrelevant now. There's still like a random chance you'll just get, you know, RNG'd, but like, I think it's like 95% or 90% now where you can't jam on Tarkov. It's, yeah, like there was a lot of contentiousness around jamming in Tarkov, and they just spent constantly watering it down from feedback. I'll have to go watch the old videos of Tarkov about jamming, because there was a lot of videos on Tarkov jamming and a lot of different opinions. Yeah, Bonks, I mean, like, that, like, if their main goal is to make it cinematic, that would be the way of doing it, is just, like, you make it a quick stop in your firing rate, you let go of your gun, and your character automatically clears your malfunction. If their goal was to be cinematic with jamming, that would be the way of doing it, right? Is you basically just make it an inopportune, just, like, stopping of firing, and you just stop firing, and your character will start clearing your gun. Yeah. Like, that would be, like, the least intrusive way of doing it. But no, like, the main framing, just for reference, that I'll always have, right, is, like, I think of, like, essentially ex-Tarkov or PvE extraction shooter players, right? And I kind of always frame my reference around that, and I'm just like, at least for me personally, I want, like, I want a little bit, I don't want a Paradox game, but I don't want, like, Angry Birds either, right? Or a Call of Duty game, right? Where there's no depth. I want, like, an inch-deep amount of depth in regards to systems, right? Enough where they actually have some bite to them, but they're not overbearing or intrusive. Essentially what I mean by that blood is essentially like things that are just like only surface level. There's no mechanical depth to that you ever have to think about, right? Everything's presented in front of you. Like, I want water to be interesting, but I don't want it to feel draconian. Like, I want there to be tension around water, but I don't want to feel like it's a Paradox management game around water, right? Same thing with, like, the gunplay, right? I want the gunplay to be interesting. Like, Helldivers strikes that great balance. Like, I'm not saying the guns in this game need to be like Helldiver guns, right? But Helldivers does a good job of balancing their guns around being, like, a bit more than meets the eye, but not too complicated. Like, each gun's going to have a little bit of nuance to it in regards to how they, like, function and interact with enemies, and, like, slightly different modes they might have inside of them, like the railgun, for example. But, like, they're not asking you to, like do a giant, like, deep dive into their stat lines between different gun types, like an RPG would, or like an ARPG would. I want choices, but I don't want to have to feel like I need a bin max, essentially. Because balancing around min-maxing too is just awful, right? Oh, for sure, game shift, right? Like, that's kind of the balance I'm striking, right? Is like games that are really approachable and simple, but actually have quite a degree of nuance to them. Thanks, SpongeBob. Appreciate it. Yeah, the general philosophy, like, is and that's the key thing, right? Is like give the player some degree of agency. You don't need to give them endless agency. It does not need to be like a Paradox or strategy game. Like, but you need to, like, craft in some decision trees, right? There needs to be, like, an ask there. And when you get into, like, parts durability, like, the ammo, I would say, like, ammo is an interesting way of doing jamming. Like, if they were going to do jamming, I would probably lean into that being the method, just because, like, it's a simple solution to add jamming to the game that doesn't ask the player to do durability. Yeah, exactly. Like, durability is just straight tedium. I would rather you just do different weapon types dependent upon their look than anything else. I mean, durability just adds a lot of shit, right? But no, like if we were to do jamming, right, the two things I would say is I would want it to be more cinematic than actually mechanical, right? Where like you're shooting, your gun jams, you let go, and it clears the jam for you automatically. It's not some cute quick time event, right? It doesn't ask you to do any more than you're currently doing. And then it's based on ammo type, or say for example, you could for example add painless having an overheat, right? So things that are the jams are not dependent upon parts durability. Oh, for sure, SpongeBob, 100%. I 100% agree with that take. It should be about being an underdog. But no, yeah. Any more explosives? Are there any more actually? There's usually a lot in here, but I guess not today. I need the hands to stop.
They have arrived. We have to.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind the railgun being a super late game thing to bring friends for. Just casual bantling over the sniper, no biggie. But no, yeah. Just, yeah. And I will say too, I know, like, they know this for sure, right? The players have a lot of power right now, and you always know when you start kind of balancing through taking power away, it's gonna feel bad. Like, that's gonna be a given no matter what, right? But if they like nuke one of the primaries out of the game, you can only carry one, they're gonna get, you know, negative feedback. But it is what it is, right? There's always gonna be the knee-jerk reaction sometimes.
Every run, we bring back hope.
Oh, critical, I do think that's an aspect too. Well, I think a big aspect critical is they don't probably have the tech in place right now to balance most of the maps around infantry as opposed to big units, right? And maybe we'll be getting it, but no, I definitely agree with the critical too. Like, the big enemies should be very big threats you should not fuck around with. Like tanks, medium mechs, all of those things should be like things you actively avoid. And the only times when you're actually like attempting to kill them is with proper planning. It's kind of why like armor, like, once again, it's why I think armor's important, because it should never feel like to the player that they're like immune to killing or immune to you, but it should feel like they're so highly lethal you would never survive an encounter with them. Let's bring some shotgun ammo too, just in case. Eric does not know. And as you saw a few streams ago, I think the community stream we did it too, right? When you have a shotgun, and when you have a squad of shotgunners, anything dies. See you, Jake. Oh, 100% Duffs. No, the way, no, I don't think it's even a hot take, right? No, like, a lone scavenger should not be able to kill a mech. Now, a lone scavenger, like, there's a fine line there, right? Like, if it's a 1v1, yeah, a lone scav should not be able to destroy a mech. Now, if it's a lone scav kind of, like, watching a mech die, different story. If it's a lone scav, pushing the odds of favor into an enemy's like, you know, if it's, you know, Yureska media mech versus Europa media mech, right? The scav tilting the balance of power by shooting a few times, sure, that's a thing too. But like in a 1v1, yeah, that shouldn't be the case where, you know, a player can kill a mech. Now, if a player encounters a damaged mech, different story, but like, yeah, at 100 HP, 1v1, mech should win 100% of the time. Well, Deep Sea, that kind of gets in the whole thing, like, where you're leaning into that guy, right? Like, think of it this way, right? Reframe your viewpoint of the railgun. Because I feel like a lot of this, I mean, I play mostly solo too, right? So this is including me. I feel like a lot of the solo players are viewing their railgun as some mandatory game loop or like endgame task, right? That like you're going to have to do or you're going to want to do. And I'm kind of saying that it's not supposed to be that. It's just because we're missing other endgame tasks right now for more solo-oriented players or normal players that it feels bad. The railgun, think of it this way, right? So let's say you get to the super late game, right? Let's say you've been playing with your friends for like a couple months now, and you've all progressed your innards, you all have like max inventories. Now let's go to like, now we're like, what do we do as a co-op, you know, group, right? Let's go hunt some big baddies, right? It's not because you have to, it's because you want to. And like, let's say this for example too, right? Let's say if the bosses were designed in a way where you needed more than one player to kill them just because of the mechanics of the boss, right? Would you still feel the same way? Like, say for example, if Mother Courage has a weak spot on her ass, and when she's fighting you, right, she's always facing you, so you never get to that weak spot. Would you still take the same issue up? If mechanically they had features that it required a group to kill, because they're not going to just expose their weakness to you, right? Because I know you fucking fiends would enjoy that. Why not her eyes? Because I know my audience, Ragey, you fiends. But no, like if special enemies had weak spots to take them down, right? Like, if they weren't accessible to a single player, would that still be okay with you? Because that's essentially how you should view the railgun. What quest did I take? Oh, I took no quests. Understood. Yeah, I mean, it's fair, right? But it's basically the respect of the railgun right now, right? I mean, the railgun is available solo if you cheat it. It's not by intention. Well, like, Hyper, that's a different story entirely. I do think the special unkillable units should die to other units, right? Like, once again, like, I do not mind if, like, them dying, there is no reason they need to be unkillable to other units, right? I mean, it's not cheating, it's exploiting, though. It's not the intent. I don't think anyone minds if you do, because it's a single-player, like, PvE game. I don't mind either. But it is an exploit. Let's call it what it is. No, 100%. No, I fully agree with you, right? Like, in regards to, like, there's not a reason why the unkillable should be unkillable, but they should still be unkillable to scavengers, basically, except for, like, rare late game scenarios. I think critical. I think it's like that. Out of everything here, like that's not an if, it's a when, right? For environmental traps and hazards. Like that's a given that's coming eventually. Yeah, but like that, do you want players to have that level of power? Like, are you, like, okay, let me rephrase too. Let's break it down into 3 states of the game, right? Let's say early game, mid game, and late game. Are you saying that are you saying in the late game, players should have access to powerful weapons that can kill anything they want? When, like, the mission statement of the game is to have you not feel like that guy? Well, critical that too, and like I will say, like one thing they're definitely lacking right now are defensive equipments and countermeasures, right? Well, exactly, Deep Sea, right? Like, I would say, think of it this way. Go to the biggest extreme that you think scavengers should have access to, right?
Everyone for themselves.
Should scavengers be able to individually kill medium mechs? Should they be able to kill grabbers? Like, what's kind of like the line of like where you feel like the power level of scavengers should be at? Should it be they can kill anything they want to, they just need the tools? Like, what's the cutoff here for units that should be killable by scavengers? And scavengers alone, right? Just like by their own hand. We're never gonna get that in this game. There is almost no shot we're ever gonna see a mech like that in the game. For the player. The problem with that though, right? Remember, they have set it up right where when you bring a 20mm into a raid, you get picked up so quickly, you shoot it once and you have hunter killers on you. Like, keep that in mind. Like right now, the way they have it tuned, if you bring a 20mm anti-tank rifle in, you are flagged the second you take a single shot. If you ever bring a vehicle to the surface, it's dead within seconds.
Perfection.
Does Rat King live though? I think I recall that Rat King dies all of the time. Also, I don't think Rat King's ever at home, by the way.
This is it.
But let's not get beside the point, right? What is the cutoff here for what you guys want to see killable by a scavenger? Like, regardless of like tools they can use, right? Like, you can say it's tool assisted, right? But what should the scavenger be able to do by themselves, and what should be the cutoff for what they can kill? Should they be able to kill medium mechs? Should they be able to kill helicopters? Should they be able to kill toothies or mother courages or grabbers? What's the cutoff? Well, Blood, I hate to be a Jordan Peterson, but what's the definition of heavy machinery? we do need to be descriptive here, right? Because the context is important of what we consider like heavy machinery. Because like would we consider medium mechs heavy machinery? They are only medium. I don't think you'll find anyone who disagrees that like those units shouldn't die to other units of their there's caliber, but it's more of like what power level should the scavengers have access to at the absolute extreme. Like what is the like we're balancing from like what at the very late game scavengers should do. And then from there we can start going backwards, right? But the first thing is we need to figure out the full capabilities we want players to have. I don't think so, actually. I wouldn't think so. I think it'd be hard. I think there'd be damage. I don't think it would kill it. So, in a way, Deep Sea, well, Deep Sea, what you're describing is not, you're describing an event. Like, you're not describing, like, an active state for a player to have access to. You are describing a dynamic event or an event players can take part in to be able to kill a special. You're describing basically a scripted sequence. Yeah, I'm out of fucking ammo, goddammit. Sorry to leave. I'm out of ammo. Like, if the players have to go and engage on some mechanic on a map to kill a special, that's more of them just, like, doing an event to allow them to, like, don't get me wrong, it's cool, don't get me wrong, like, that's a cool way of doing it, but I wouldn't say it's, like, innate firepower for a scavenger, right? Hey, Morph. Like, stuff like that is definitely a way of doing it, Deep Sea, where, like, to kill specials or kill, like, high caliber units, you do things like that, like go to emplacements that are on maps, or you do events, or you have other NPCs kill them for you, right? That's a way of, like, allowing scavengers to do that through interacting with the game, not necessarily that, player's innate ability. I have faith in them for now, King. Like, I do think, like, making, like, they got a lot of faith from me when they chose to make a PvE game that's offline in this current day and age, and not falling for the indie game trap where, like, you bite off more than you can chew in regards to, like, server side shit, right? Or, you know, game side shit. Like, if they had to do server stuff, if they chose to do PvP, they would never have survived. Server side costing them tons of money, and then, you know, client side, or PvP causing cheats.
What happens next?
I enjoy the vibe. And also because I talked a lot during it, as you can probably see. I like early access games a lot, King, because I like talking about the possibilities for the game. Deep Sea, you'd be surprised at how easy killing mechs are.
Let's never do that again. Until the next time.
It is comically easy to kill mechs in this game right now. I would actually tell you right now, for the most part, exos are bigger dangers than medium mechs. not any more 50 cal. It is quite comical how easy it is to fold medium mechs. Now I'm gonna go to Mesa. If we don't find any on Mesa, we can go over to Elephant next. And that's the big thing too right now, is like you can kill a medium mech with a shotgun. The game right now does not have wipes. They've talked about it and they said like they said they do not want to do wipes, but they might be forced to by, like, for example, if they add a new character mechanic, right? That like forces the, like, if there's ever a period of the game where there's incompatibility with two systems that they're doing, then yeah, like they'll have to wipe certain elements there. But they said they do not want to do wipes if they can help it. And other than that, like you are in full control of your wipes right now. So like the only really way of doing it right now is editing your own save file, like basically removing your own save file from your folder, but it's doable, right? Also, case in point, I have a grenade launcher, immediately get HKs. So Scar plus grenade launcher equal HKs.
We decide what happens next.
All right, there's one. Alright, there's just a medium mech. No, but like, you can just see here, right? Like, this is just, there's literally no danger going on here, right? What's not even that, too. If I was on the ground, it'd be a little bit more dangerous, but like, you can still do it on the ground perfectly easy, too. Especially with medium mechs here, because you can strip their guns so quickly. But no, like, case in point, right? Like, should the player be able to, like, go onto a map and just literally melt 3 mechs? Blow up tanks. And the big thing too is like, these are not like, let's actually go to the ground. Let's make this fairer. I want to show it's not just cheese too. Yoruska medium mechs only have their 1 AK for a gun, and so they don't generally do a good job. Like they can still one-shot you, don't get me wrong, but like they're not very agile in bringing their gun to bear, even when like you're right in front of them or you're in a plane that can actually hit you. It is not 25. Like, the only thing you get for 25 pass is experience for gunhead. And like right now, for example, it's not aggro to me because it's currently fighting something else. So yeah, now it is aggro to me. Now it's dead. Like, this be the amount of power a scavenger has, right? As I'm just mowing down things with grenade launchers everywhere. that could be part of the factor, right, in regards to balancing if you knock down players to only having a primary and secondary. Since I have this power, right, but like if I get pushed into CQB, I'm now down to my pistol, right? But in this instance, I can just go to my secondary and be perfectly fine because I have a good rifle from a secondary.
As long as I'm the last one standing.
Do I have meds? I did not bring meds at all. That's dangerous. Whee! I mean, the grenade launcher is broken too, right? But there's no armor in the game. So, like, the only way to balance things right now are from health pools or their invincibility flag. But it's not even that too. Like, for example, Eric, I could sit up there with a 50 cal SCAR or like a 36M, right, and still do the same thing. It'd be slower, but I wouldn't be under any more threats than I was, right? It's just the grenade launcher is really quick. Yeah, and I kind of got that intent game shift, right, in regards to the early marketing videos, was like, yeah, like that's what you do, is you find a weakened one, you find one that's not in great shape from like other NPCs, right? And then you know, finish it off. Like that could, it's hard to do right now with like the infinite spawns, but if they could do it in such a way where the maps do die down a bit potentially. And so, think of it this way, right? It's almost in a way where you want the map's battles to take place, the bodies to persist, and like part of being a scavenger is looting the bodies and dealing with the survivors, right? But like right now with how the respawns currently work, like, the hell? Invisible wall. You kill things, they despawn, you like kill more things, they spawn. All of that stuff. Like in a way, like those medium mechs and like mechs should be like highly lethal and pretty tanky, I would think too, right? But they take a long while to die. So like maybe you're doing combat voyeurism while you're waiting. And then like when they die, there's some looting going on. It's like you kind of like, do you want to wait for this whole ecosystem to play through to loot? My favorite, hey Vinny, my favorite like kind of like, if you've never seen like the Planet Earth documentaries on the oceans or Deep Blue, whatever it's called, right? Thanks, Vinny. Appreciate it. There's a really cool sort of ecosystem, right? When whales die and go to the bottom of the ocean, right? And you essentially have large amounts of different tiers of scavengers, right? That use different parts of the resources. So, for example, when the whale first hits the bottom, right? First are the sharks, right? They consume the really easy to digest, like basically matter, right? Like the meat, the flesh, things that are, you know, very easy for them to deal with. They come in, pick it clean, and when it's gone, they leave, right? But much of the carcass is still there, the sinewy, the stuff that the sharks don't want, the bones, all of that good stuff, right? And so the next level of scavengers come in and pick apart the next layer, right? They might be interested in the connective tissue and sinew, right? And so they come by, they loot what they're trying to loot, and then leave. And then the next group comes in, right? And there's like this giant ecosystem of animals coming by and essentially recycling the carcass of this creature, right? Of this, you know, former whale. And I kind of view like scavengers as being as part of that cycle, right? And it kind of is, I feel like, dependent upon the player themselves on when they engage in that sort of cycle. Imagine a map, as opposed to being like any other map, right? Imagine if the map was literally just a medium mech that's destroyed. And it would just involve things coming by to start salvaging it. You can do it, and it's less about the overall like state of that game shift, but more about the gamified aspects of it, right? Of like, you know, you have the phase where you have the brawl between, let's say, a Yoruska medium mech and a Europa medium mech, and they fight, there's a brawl, one survives, and then one's hurt. And now you have the first question you ask the players, right? You have this hurt Yoruska medium mech. Are you going to try and take it down before it retreats back to a certain things or moves on, right? The first question is that, like, do you want, with you and your squad and your resources, want to engage this medium mech? Is it hurt enough where you think it's worth it or doable? Like, that should be the prime example of when players or scavengers can actually deal with units, right? Is when they're pre-damaged, they have exposed weak spots. Like, say for example, like in their fight with the medium mech, it exposed a weak spot on the pauldron. Like, case in point. And then after that phase, right, after the medium mechs finish their bout and leave, then for example, you might have like infantry in the area come by and start securing resources. You know, your rescue infantry can come by with like a Mother Courage or for example, just, you know, their own salvaging devices and start securing the site. And that's going to be when it's mainly asks the players, right? That's when you're going to see the players be asked in the sense of, do you want to go salvage that? Otherwise, you're kind of letting it be grabbed up by those Yoruskans. Do you want to sneak in and try to grab some of your own supplies and then leave before they notice? Do you want to take them out and then loot it yourself? But for that particular map and that particular time, that's all you can have access to doing, right? But say you come back later with Mother Courages, right? You know, in a night shift. That's when you see, like, you know, maybe even a more stripped down version of the mech, right? And you can come back during that night shift and you see, like, you have a different ability to scavenge then, right? Because that they've removed, say, the carapace and the outer levels of the mech, and now that the underneath is there. But it's a night shift that's scary, right? You have Mother Courages nearby, other salvagers nearby, salvaging the mech, and for example, if you interrupt them, you get high alerts. So kind of like that stealthy get in, you know, scrap and get out. So you kind of have to do it multi-raid wise, but no, stuff like that. And it comes from approaching it from that kind of standpoint too, right? Anyway, let's get back to playing. Let's get a nighttime stairway going. Nighttime stairway. We're gonna do nothing. We're gonna do a tiny rig and nothing. But no, like, you can't. I'm just hoping. I'm just hoping for a night shift. It's my copium more than anything else.
Another beautiful day on the surface.
I mean, I've always kind of viewed from the original marketing game shift that like fights between mechs would be actually pretty rare. And it would be like cataclysmic, right? It wouldn't be over in like a minute or two. It would be this giant bout and fight. And like I always pictured the maps being pretty large and pretty barren. Like, and on the grand scheme of things, I always pictured maps being pretty large and open and like snaking trenchways and like snaking buildings, but overall like large and barren. And so like you would occasionally encounter squads of infantry patrolling around, but like you would occasionally see a mech in the distance, right? Like, so like, you know, it's maybe like a click away, not, let's be more realistic, like 500 meters away, like a kilometer away, you see two mechs fighting, right? And their fight goes on for a while, and you pop up your head ever so often, right? And you see the mech still fighting, and you're like, if you kind of get in the day, like, do I want to go loot the victor or the dead person of that fight, right? You start heading that direction. Your role in that bout is hiding, or if you're so inclined, perhaps you can shift it in the direction of whoever you want to win, right? Say, for example, like, you want to isolate a certain medium mech, you could perhaps help that medium mech win, so you can follow that medium mech begin to leave and isolate it and hopefully kill it, perhaps. So, like, you could influence it, right? But, like, you're not gonna be the main point of damage in that fight. And it kind of makes me think too, like those, in a way, it genuinely feels like those mechs should have guns on them that are literally like auto turrets, right? You shoot at a medium mech, it locks into you, and you immediately get almost obliterated from like, you know, the auto turret of the mech, right? It's not going to be useful versus like, you know, actual mechs. So they wouldn't use it versus mechs, but like for anti-infantry support, yeah, like infantry gets exposed against the medium mech, they get instantly dusted by an auto turret.
Christmas.
I mean, that's kind of what they, I mean, that's kind of what they kind of are, right, Game Shift? I mean, would you consider the medium mechs that spawn in Ashen Mesa not scripted? Exactly the same thing I'm describing there, right? It's no different. What the hell is shooting me? Hold on here. I'm not aggroed. You're not allowed to do that, you fiends. But no, like it's the same exact scenario we currently see with medium mechs right now. It's just smaller in number and like longer fights. It's no more scripted than just, you know, having spawns on a map. You just make them rarer to the point where it feels impactful when you actually see them, and deadly when you see them too. Like naturally, when you have a medium mech for Europa show up on Mesa like every other run, it can't just immediately dust you too. And partially because like on Mesa also, there's no way of like really hiding from it. Blood, when the exos are, when the, what's it called? When the opals aren't jumping around, they still have issues in regards to movement. They're really kind of clunky. Oh, for sure, Skycave, like, no, like, that's a big factor, right, too. As a medium mech does not acknowledge you as a threat until you make yourself one, right? By either being way too close, that like you are asking for it, or you engage it, or you engage with friends nearby, right? Like that should be kind of the risk, for example, of like engaging infantry, is if, you know, if they call into a medium mech for support, it can just dust you with an auto turret if it has it nearby. Yeah, Sky, it's a balance, right? It's like, how punishing do you want the game to be, right? And like that's the avenue though, Sky Cave, of like making medium mechs is like dangerous. Yeah, you can add warning shots for 2, right? Would they care about giving you warning shots though? Maybe that could be a rep thing. But no, like having that level of lethality on medium mechs is what makes them scary and makes engaging them so tense, right? And like that could be a factor too, right? Maybe, for example, you see the auto turret get knocked out in their fight, and maybe that's what, you know, prompts you guys to actually go engage the medium mech, because you see its turret gets knocked out during the fight. Or maybe that could be a huge thing too, like, you know, you're trying to actually like perfectly aim your shot to actually hit up the auto turret. Oh, I have a tier list. Wait, this is not the exit. Oh no, the exit's timed, oh god. This is my least favorite map. I have a love and hate, and it's on the tier list. I'm gonna shill my video. I have a tier list for the maps. And it's still accurate to this day.
Bad luck today.
They've added in quite a bit. Like, they added in like 2 or 3 new maps since you played. Can't recall exactly what they had at launch. The weapons feel different now, for better or for worse. Like, the ADS is better, but the recoil is kind of worse. Grenades are in, new quests, Spunko, railgun quest lines. You can actually kill unkillables now, but like, it's with a railgun, so co-op. If you weren't very, like, if you were looking for a lot of content and loops to keep you in the game, Lawless, I would just say wait for a couple more months. There, mirrors. No, like, the maps are definitely a contentious issue for me, right? I think a lot of the maps just lack depth to them right now. Both in, like, size is one factor, but just depth. You can have small maps with depth into them, but, like, we have small maps with no depth. A tier list in regards to like lethality or just coolness? No, but like that's, yeah, I just adding it makes no sense, for example, with medium mechs, like how derpy they are considering how advanced they should be, right? Like maybe, for example, like you were saying, they shouldn't have pinpoint accuracy on their like, you know, say for example they have like 20mm autocannons meant for anti-infantry purposes, right? That literally has like maybe a second time to kill, or essentially maybe just die instantly when they point at you. Like that being a threat on the map means that you need to be aware of that enemy, right? And it makes engaging them actually scary, right? Because if you, you get dusted, right? And it makes a lot of sense, right? You're not going to survive a burst from 20mm autocannons. Oh no, Lawless, that was a big thing, right? They, essentially water's been neutered. There's still an IRL timer, but it's not for water, it's just for traders. Essentially the only way you spend water now is going to certain maps. So essentially every single entry point on maps now has a water cost. Sometimes it's free, sometimes it's not. So for example, if we go over to like Scorched Enclave, you can see cemeteries free, bunker costs 4 water, and essentially that dictates that's the only way you spend water now, right? So essentially if you didn't like the IRL drain for water before, it's gone essentially. It does make water relatively meaningless, but like it's I guess a placeholder for a better system maybe, I don't know. I don't know, Sky Cave. I haven't ever sat down and just figured out if it increases like awareness of you. It might, I just don't know. Pistol run, why not? Pistol run. And a shotgun for, we'll bring a shotgun for just dealing with a few cyborgs. I mean, you could bring, the way I see it is you can bring water drain back. It just has to be through a not IRL timer method. I do not think the problem with water was the water drain. The problem was the water drain over IRL time. If you remove time from the equation to just make it based on like say turns, it should work a lot better. And you can make water feel like an actual impactful resource again without punishing people for not playing all the time. Hey, Captain.
It's always the same up here.
Yeah, I mean, stuff like that. Like, anything just add water drain, really, right? Oh, 100% SpongeBob. It needed to happen, right? The problem is now it doesn't feel like water's important at all. And don't get me wrong, I don't think anyone would say that, like, the previous system felt good. But, like, it does... This is the front sight. What are you talking about? This is the... What do you mean, front sight? It's been filed down. ATF compliance. Yeah, it needed to go, right? But like it did leave a void in its wake of just like water now it feels. If the goal of like is making you feel like you're surviving and water's important, it does not hit the mark right now. Did I win? I thought was there not more than 3? Okay, they got distracted, okay.
Crush 'em to dust.
Oh. Oh, I got him. Nice.
Enemy contact. Not sure where.
I win. Good old pistol. Yeah, you definitely can't spam fire this. It's uncontrollable spam firing. I wonder. I kind of want to try it. I'm curious if they actually have a rate of fire lock on the thing. Like if I... Hold on. Okay, damn it. I was trying to see if I could bind fire to mouse wheel up. It's a fun thing to do in games that don't have... Yeah, exactly what we're trying to do. Yeah, bind fire to scroll wheel. It wouldn't trigger. I could probably force it through a macro, but I have to do that off stream. But no, yeah, someone definitely try out to see if you can bind fire to mouse wheel up. And see if it actually has a rate of fire lock. Well, I mean, the game dev, like the game developers of Deep Sea are literally artists, right? Like that's their background. They've said before on Q&As that like they're really open to doing ideas that are like they kind of do like a yes and mentality, or like in a sense of no idea is a bad idea, and they're willing to try it a lot. I do think... Oh god, oh god, oh god. The world's slowest reload. It still drives me insane those fucking things have guns on them without being modeled. Yeah, no, they're like, no, well, it's less about bad ideas, but my main point before I got murdered for my own problems, my main point in the sense of just because like they might be a good idea in a vacuum, but doesn't mesh with what you're trying to accomplish or the vibe or the statement of your game, right? Like that's my more issue, right? In the sense of like, when you're looking, you have to get an idea of where you want your game to be, and like it should just try and do that, right? And sometimes ideas just do not mesh with the idea of what you want your game to be. So like, when I hear PvE co-op offline extraction shooter, right? I think of like game concepts or game loops that are friendly to PvE or more casual players. Which is why it was so confusing to see an IRL drain on water, right? Like that felt like an issue of someone had an idea to make water feel impactful without thinking of the ramifications of the mission statement of their game. Right, like that is like the hallmark example I will use, right? And it's more than just that, but like that is the key point there is you want to make a game that, like, you know, caters to casual players for yourself or for others, but like that includes making sure the systems you're putting into your game kind of accommodate those players. And I would say, like, that doesn't mean you can't make the own game that you want to make, right? But just if you're going to make the game you want to make, don't say it's things it's not. Like, definitely advertise, I would say, like, if this game advertised it was trying to emulate live service but offline, I think it would have been a lot more understandable. Yeah, I mean, Bonks, that's a little bit different too, right? Because people have different, like, some people like the hardcore games, some people don't. It depends on the type of video game. Oh, 100% Sleepy Pig. There's always, like, a thing too many cooks in the kitchen also, right? It does have to be a game. Well, I would say, like Box, it does depend, right? Because I'll play, for example, a walking simulator. Is that a game or is that just a visual novel, right? Like a game is, I would say, has a wide degree of definitions, right? I know where you're coming from, though. Like in your game, like what your game wants to be game-wise has to be engaging for the audience you're trying to capture. And if you're just making a game for yourself, that's perfectly fine. Like, yeah, like there's plenty of, I think, indie games that made games just because they want to have, like, they want to make a game that, like, they enjoy, right? There's no shame in that. But, like, don't say it's something it's not. Or don't try and, like, yeah. Don't try to inject something into your game's, like, marketing description that it's not going to be. Or you don't want it to be, right? Like, if, for example, they came out and straightforward were saying, like, we're trying to emulate live service games, but on and offline, right? So you don't have to feel chronically online. Yeah, that's fine. Like, that would be the case in point for an IRL timer. I don't think they do either, Sleepy Pig, but I do think, like, there does need to be a degree of forthcomingness in regards to the marketing, right? That's usually when you, like, have issues in regards to, like, mismatched expectations, right? And negative reception. Where did I die at? I died over here. It's probably not important.
Bad luck today.
But no, yeah, like there's definitely can be cases where there's too many cooks in the kitchen, right? And because of there's no cohesive vision for the game. Yeah, I mean, I think there might be still a lot more they're exploring too, Box. We don't really know exactly what they're... We don't really know, and that's partially an issue too, right? Is like, we don't know where they're hoping to end up with the game, right? So it's kind of like a question mark of like what the game's trying to be at 1.0. I feel like the ID is supposed to ambush like infantry squads, but yeah, it's not enough bang for the buck. Once again, a reason why there needs to be armor. I will die on this hill. Your game needs just like the most basic, even if it's like super like just like high level mitigation based on ammo type, right? Or damage source. That's perfectly fine, but it needs to just be there for balancing, right? Because that way, for example, you can have like the IEDs be high damage but low penetration, so they like eviscerate infantry but don't necessarily kill like vehicles all that well, or at least like big vehicles all that well. The 20mm turret though, Eric, is funny as shit. It is like the world's most inaccurate turret. I swear to fucking God, there is, at the very end, I swear, okay, I need to listen to this more. I've heard it 2 times now, so I'm not going crazy. At the end of that little quest completion soundtrack, at like very subtly, at like 1% volume, I can barely hear it, is like a guitar riff. Like it's supposed to be part of like some larger, oh, it could be like a sound effects track where like they have different tracks in different segments. Oh, I don't know, but like there was like a guitar riff playing at the very end of the quest completion track, but it's been almost muted, but not entirely. You hear it too? Okay, I'm not crazy. It is so subtle. It makes you feel like you're losing your fucking mind. It's not turning one in, it's like when you go like do an objective, right? So like for example, doing the data heist or like hitting the fire there, you hear the quest completion noise and like the very, very like subtly after it, you hear like a guitar riff. That you hear nowhere else in the game. Yeah, like literally schizo update. Literally, oh my god. I would say, if you ever played it before, what's it called? Hellblade. It's a great game to play once. I haven't tried 2 yet. I'll probably get 2 eventually. Hellblade 1, definitely get it on sale if you're in for trippy games. It literally emulates you having psychosis. It's fucking crazy. The audio design of that game is immaculate. And the combat was pretty good G for it, considering it was mainly a more narrative game, Hellblade. I would say I didn't like the ending mechanic was awful, but like the way they simulated you having like psychosis or like voices in your head, schizo, is very well done. The audio quality in that game is insane. I mean, that's what I mean, Sleepy, it's just immersion, right? It's just neat ways of doing immersion. Look at us go. So many rewards. All right. Nighttime stairway. Now we know if that's gonna happen. We haven't killed Pyro recently. By the way, it's not. I did like say we haven't killed Pyro recently. I opened the quest log and he's there. It's a side. We're here to kill Pyro. What do I kill Pyro with? MPL? MPL. MPL and a backup being... What's a good backup? I have to buy one? That feels so wrong. Imagine being so awful you're the backup to the MPL. Should feel shameful. I honestly, like, the only reason why I queue up Stairway is to see if it's night shift. It's literally the only reason. If it wasn't for nighttime Stairway, I would probably only play it like maybe once a day or once a stream.
Time to carve him up.
Where my boy at? He's not spawned yet? I think that's him right there. I see him. Alright, that's where we need to go. I'm coming, Pyro! Oh, for sure, but like, when you have a small company like this, right, is it really marketers or just them? Whee!
You feel the ground shake? They're on their way.
Uh-oh. Oh god. Oh god. No, I'm sorry. Once you get stun locked once there, you're just done. Alright, so Pyro is resistant to 30 9mm bullets plus 10 VKS bullets. I have a solution. I can fix this. Wait, hold on. I need to attack him though. I gotta be able to find him right out the rip. Attack him. I'll bring like a few meds. Just enough to find him when we spawn.
Remember, we keep what we kill.
There he is. Grenade launcher out. Probably. Most definitely, actually.
Bad luck today.
Hey, where is he? Oh, there he is. America.
Christmas.
America?
Makes this life worth it.
Where the fuck did he go? You don't get to leave me. How dare you? Alright, there's my stuff. Ooh, gotcha. Hey!
Taking fire.
Hold on. No. No! No, no. Self-defense! Oh, we're good. I want to go in these bunkers so damn bad. Let me in. Really? That feels like a robbery. Is this like a commercial for the T90? What is, are you guys posing? What is going on here? Like this is like a band cover. The fucking eyes. Alright. Well, you guys have fun. Huh. Whatever. I'm not gonna ruin a good time.
Let's go.
All right. That's it for today, everyone. Thanks for watching. I will see you guys again on Monday. Hope you enjoyed. I mean, on the plus side, though, I mean, if they're keeping up the monthly patch cadence, that means patch next week. So I guess get hyped? Question mark? Q&A should be soon? Question mark? So yeah, we'll see. See you guys on Monday. Take it easy. Good weekend, and I'll catch you all later. Bye, all.